Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zierscher, and today I'm going to be demonstrating how to make a tuffet, which I also call a poof. It's a three-dimensional little cushion-looking thing. It looks like a little ottoman, like a tiny ottoman. This was something that I learned in one of Sue Spargo's amazing workshops, as they all are. And I tried it in a variety of different materials, and I just fell in love with this technique. It's a wonderful little something to add to a vase, or it can be used in an abstract design as well. It can be used on its own or embellished. They're so much fun to make, and I'm very excited to have you join me in learning how to make them. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I love hearing from you, so any comments or questions you might have, please leave them in the comment section below, and check out the description because I leave a lot of links to different things that I discuss throughout this demonstration. Let's get started. And here is my vase with little tuffets. So this tuffet is a Dupioni silk, this one is a fussy cut cotton, and this one is velvet. I'm going to show you how to make all three of these. So I have a couple of cotton prints that I thought would be fun to fussy cut. And then I have my silk velvet, which I went ahead and ironed on gently so I didn't ruin the nap. A square of Presto sheer. This is the Presto sheer, which is lovely because it is a very, very lightweight fusible that really doesn't change the hand as much as it allows you to work with a fabric that's tricky like a velvet, which is very slippery, and it gives you the ability to make, say, a tuffet out of this, taking away some of the challenges. I also have my Dupioni silk, which I'm going to now iron on a piece of Presto sheer to the back. I'm just going to put a little piece here. I don't need to make a big one, but I'll go ahead and iron this down. I have my number 8 weight Eleganza thread. I'm going to use this one, which is EZM20, with my cotton print fabric. I'm threading my Chenille 24 needle, and I'm going to turn my raw edge under just a little bit all the way around, gathering the fabric up as I go. So I've done my little running stitch around. So I'm going to grab just a little bit because this is a pretty tiny circle, and I'm going to start cinching up the circle while holding that stuffing. And this is why you want the Eleganza thread, because, well, not only because you're going to be wrapping this tuffet with it later, but you also need it to be really strong because you're pulling pretty hard. So I use this. It's an applique. There are actually two of them, and this is the one that I don't use it for applique, because I do needle turn, but I do end up using it for all kinds of other things. Who knew it would be so useful? But I do. I end up using it all the time. And this is one of the things I use it for, to stuff. I like it. There's a little flat edge on this one, so that's nice. So I just keep pushing that little bit of stuffing in. It doesn't take a lot. I don't want this so stuffed that it's just like a hard little rock. You want to be able to squeeze it a little, but you also don't want it so loosely stuffed that it's just kind of disappears on you. As I keep doing this, I keep cinching that up until it's completely closed. And once it's totally closed, I'm going to take this leg here, and I'm going to, using my needle, I'm going to go right into the center there. Helps that I have this little round circle guide me. And I'm going to come out the middle of the underbelly. I'm going to pull my thread through. And now I'm going to go around like spokes on a wheel. It can sometimes help if you have a pair of needle nose or jewelry pliers. Pull that through and go to my next spoke. I'm going to change to my tapestry needle because I'm going to be doing a whipped woven stitch in here, and this is pretty tight. And if I do it with a regular chenille, I'm going to be picking up a lot of other stuff. And now I'm going to do my whipped woven. If you don't know how to do whipped woven, you're going to come up between two spokes. You're going to go back and go under two. So you're going to go back one, go under two. Go back one, go under two. I'm using the back of my needle because even though it's a tapestry needle, it's still easier to go sometimes with the back of the needle. So I'm not poking through fabric. Back one right there, that's my back, under 1, 2. So this is my last stitch down. I'm going to now go down, back over that one, and push my needle down into the center. I am not going to cut this off. I'm going to leave this tail because this is what I'm going to attach to my fabric. So let's say I wanted to put him here. I would just attach him right there. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut out a little piece of wool, which I'm going to whip stitch around, and I'm going to put him in the center like that. So I'm going to leave this long tail. I originally sewed this with this thread, which is the variegated EZM03, and this is what it looked like. As you can see, it didn't turn out. There are a couple reasons for that. One is when I pulled these threads around, I did it so tightly that it disappeared into the pile of the velvet, and I couldn't actually see this spoke, and so when I was going around, I just kept missing it. So I redid the whole thing, tossed that aside, and I did it with a thread that I was going to be able to see better. This is Sue Spargo's Dazzle thread, color 1127. It has a little strand of metallic in it, and I didn't stuff this quite so much. My plan is to do some kind of embellishment stitch around this whip stitched wool circle, and then to stitch this in the center. When I'm figuring out my circle size, I have to remember that I am going to be turning under this edge by about between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch. Let me cut this right along the pencil line. You're going to see that it doesn't matter. It's just a rough guide. I'm going to fold this edge down, and I'm going to do a running stitch, a basting stitch all the way around. But I am not going to do that with cotton applique thread as one might think. Instead, I'm going to do that with the thread, the same thread that I then weave. So this is an Eleganza 8 thread. You can use a thicker thread, but for these little ones, the Eleganza 8 is a kind of a nice size thread. I'm going to thread up a chenille number 24 needle with a number 8 weight Eleganza thread. I'm now going to do my Dupioni Silk. It's going to do it in this. We'll see if that's a good idea. Again, I'm going to go in. I'm going to gently fold that raw edge down. And this is why with the Dupioni Silk, it's incredibly important to use the Presto shear, because if you don't, this whole edge would be fraying as I stitch to the point where I would have nothing to stitch, because it would completely it would fray so much that I would only have threads. Dupioni Silk is very, very challenging to work with because it frays so easily. But if you put a piece of Presto shear, it stops it from fraying, and you're able to use it just as you would any other fabric. But without that Presto shear, it's, in my experience, it's impossible. So here I'm going to start cinching, and now I'm going to fill with my stuffing. This is the next size, and this is the largest. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to receive notifications of when the next video is going to post, you need to hit the little bell button next to the subscribe button, just to the right of it. I love hearing from you, so please leave any comments or questions you might have. If there's a stitch you'd like me to demonstrate that I haven't already, please just leave that in the comments and I'll add it to my list. Here's to stitching together.